Mayor Bibb, I want to ask you a question. This State of the City, 2025,
Yeah.
I saw the Cleveland era. I want to learn a little bit more about that. I want to learn what the impetus for it was, what the initiative is, how you plan on developing and the vision for the future of Cleveland.
Well, as you know from your time working with Mayor Benjamin, before any state of the city, you want to reflect on kind of what you've accomplished and what's ahead. And this was my last state of the city for my first term in office. Hopefully, I'll get 4 more years to serve the great city of Cleveland, Ohio. But I was doing some thinking about all the great work we've done as an administration in terms of building a new economic movement and a new economic era in Cleveland. And I think it's important to put this in context. You know, at one point, Cleveland was considered America's first Silicon Valley. John D. Rockefeller, the world's first billionaire, got his start in Cleveland with the creation of Standard Oil. But unfortunately, macroeconomic trends weren't in our favor over the last several generations. And so now, as we think about all of these trends from reshoring to the rise of advanced manufacturing and AI, to the importance of healthcare and innovation, all those trends really bode well for Cleveland's strengths. And so this really is the Cleveland era, from the fact that we are building nearly a $2 billion brand new airport, Cleveland's new front door, to the fact that we are taking 1,000 acres of brownfield vacant land and making them shovel-ready sites to attract and retain new jobs back to the urban core to make Cleveland a walk-to-work city once again, to the work we're doing to make Cleveland one of the only 2 waterfront cities in America, with nearly $5 billion in the pipeline for our waterfronts. And then, Sam, we all know that America is facing a housing crisis.
Sure.
And, you know, during the 2008 Great Recession, Cleveland was ground zero for the predatory mortgage crisis in this country. And so we've been really focused on making sure we can be a national model on innovative housing solutions. Right now, we're in the process of attracting a new modular housing developer and manufacturer to our city. We just launched a $100 million housing investment fund with KeyBank and LISC. And with this fund, we're going to bring online nearly 3,000 units of workforce and affordable housing over the next 5 years. And the last thing I would say about the Cleveland era, and I think every mayor in America should be thinking about this, is how do we make the easy things easier? And how do we make sure that government is moving at the speed of business? You know, one of the sayings I have now is that we can't let process be an impediment to prosperity, right? And so we're fast tracking our efforts around permitting reform. We're finally bringing on Salesforce so that we can track every loan, every grant, every incentive, every permit at the speed of business. And we want to make sure that government is working for people as quickly as we possibly can. So this is the Cleveland era, and Cleveland is open and ready for business. And so we're ready to take our business case to the world.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I want to dive in a little bit more. You mentioned, you know, that $2 billion airport, that amazing front door. As someone who has flown in to Cleveland and seen just the beauty that you have there, I'm curious, what is your vision? You mentioned the housing challenges. You mentioned, you know, in the trends that we see nationally. I would love to see and hear more about what your vision is specifically for what that waterfront, what that engine, that economic engine looks like, and how that impacts all of Cleveland, you know, going forward.
Well, our waterfronts have been a key part of Cleveland's story for generations. You know, historically, it's been a dividing line between race and class, rich and poor, black and white in Cleveland. You know, unfortunately, we are still one of the most segregated cities in this country because of redlining and past racist practices that have plagued many cities like Cleveland for a long time. And what's striking and what's exciting about the work we're doing on both the Cuyahoga River and Lake Erie is, you know, these waterfronts were once considered areas of environmental concern.
Mm-hmm.
You think about the first black mayor elected in a big city, Carl B. Stokes, my predecessor.
Yeah.
He didn't campaign on environmental justice, but in 1969, the Cuyahoga River caught on fire because industry was polluting our riverfront. And he did a nationwide pollution tour, which led to the Clean Water Act being passed, which then led to the creation of the EPA. And 50 plus years later, I was able to welcome the Biden-Harris administration to Cleveland. And now the Cuyahoga River is seen as a national model of environmental resilience. And now, because of that great work, we've attracted a $4 billion investment from Bedrock and Dan Gilbert to remake that riverfront. And then Lake Erie, we sit on one of the largest bodies of fresh water with the Great Lakes and Lake Erie. It's next door to a $1 billion port in the port of Greater Cleveland. And over the last 3 years, we've attracted over $150 million of state and federal investment to better connect the urban core of our city, especially the east side of Cleveland, to our lakefront, because the lakefront is not for the top 1%.
Sure.
Right? It's for everybody, whether you want to fish or ride your bike or run or go to a good restaurant. Everybody in our city, regardless of race or class, should be able to enjoy that amenity. And I'm just so excited about the progress that we've made in a short amount of time to bring our vision to make Cleveland a two-waterfront city into reality.
That's beautiful. I love it. As somebody who's seen, we mentioned my time with Mayor Benjamin and some of the redevelopment projects that we worked on. I'm excited just to hear the bone structure there. That's exciting stuff there. Mayor, I couldn't help but think, as you mentioned, the Biden-Harris administration, having them in and being able to welcome them, and of course, laying the no pun intended, the groundwork, all right, for some of the projects we were literally just talking about. I'd love to get your thoughts and really your approach as you have, as mayor now, worked with your second administration, right? Working with this current administration. How are you navigating this current administration? You're the chief cheerleader for Cleveland, right? You've got to make sure that from a federal perspective, you're able to have the resources that you need in Cleveland. But then also, you play a national role. And so how are you helping your colleague mayors as they have to navigate and work with and deal with some of the changing priorities here in this country?
Well, I would be lying to you if I said it has not been easy.
Sure.
I mean, it has been a challenge. We had it made under the Biden-Harris administration. And there was broad consensus, I think, amongst mayors, both Democrat, Republican, Independent, that we had an administration in D.C. at the time under the former president that understood the importance of a federal-local relationship and partnership. And I'm so happy that we took advantage of that moment because of the investments we got from the American Rescue Plan.
I'll just be remiss if I didn't say, and of course I'm biased with Mayor Benjamin, we probably had a record number of mayors
in the administration
who served in the administration.
Right? And that's because the former president recognized the importance of mayors, and we get stuff done. So from the investments we got from the American Rescue Plan, over $512 million, from the historic bipartisan infrastructure bill to the CHIPS bill, to the work around the Inflation Reduction Act to really address our climate crisis and spur a new green energy revolution in our nation, city by city. Those were boom times. And as we now approach the Trump-Vance administration, my message has been very simple. I'll work with anybody who believes in Cleveland, who shares my sense of urgency, who shares our values, and want to see progress continue in my city. But now it's about protecting our cities, defending these investments, and advocating for what we need for as mayors to move the nation forward. America's mayors and cities are responsible for a majority of our GDP. We are responsible for a large share of economic prosperity in this country. America doesn't work if cities aren't working. And so when you have an erratic tariff policy that not only hurts Wall Street, but it's hurting Main Street. I had a coffee shop in my neighborhood that I go to called Ready Set Coffee. And the owner of the coffee shop told me that her job has become like a day trader navigating when to buy coffee, when not to buy coffee because of the tariff policy.
Wow.
When you have immigrant communities in our city who are scared to go to church, scared to send their kids to school, scared to go to the hospital, that's not what America stands for. Now, we all agree that we as a country need to have a bipartisan approach to common sense immigration reform.
Sure.
And we don't want anybody committing violent crime in our community, regardless if they're undocumented or not.
Yeah.
But there's a way to do this that represents our values as a country. And so right now, our message is clear as mayors, but especially as Democratic mayors: community over chaos. And every day we have an opportunity as mayors to clearly articulate and show with real progress and real results what an alternative vision for this nation could look like, city by city. And that's what we're trying to do every day in this job.
Community over chaos.
Community over chaos.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
You can steal it.
I learned something. Columbia, South Carolina, we didn't have a huge mayoral staff. So Mayor Benjamin had a policy. What you could do is, the first time you use it, you cite. All right. Yeah. First time I use that, I'm going to cite Mayor Bibb.
Yeah.
Going forward.
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, Mayor.